Today I got Zoe in the studio. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Zoe and welcome to King Kai channel.
Today is a very interesting topic that we kind of want to touch on. For those of you that don't know, we're both immigrants here in the UK. We were just having a thought around how our parents and like our families came over here for a better life and they ended up getting stuck here or either dying here. It's such an interesting topic to me because I feel like in the ethnic minority community, this is not something that people speak about a lot. People leaving their country where they've practically grew up all their life. A huge percentage of those people don't even make it back home. They ended up, dying in a foreign land. So I think it would be nice to hear from your perspective because obviously you're from an Asian background and I'm from an African background. And I think we can share our experiences here and and hopefully, we can open a debate.
Like personally, I see the struggle for my previous generation. My aunties here is a immigrant and they've been here for 20 years and they got friends also came from back home Vietnam. That's where I'm from. And recently they talking about a friend of her passing away of cancer, and she was always talk about making loads of money and then come back home and live a better life, but obviously she never see that day, and it's really sad, I would say, because all of them dreaming about a better life. I would say majority of them end up passing in like a foreign land.
It is extremely sad. I gotta agree. Well, my mom, for instance, came here in the 90s, and yeah, you know the story. But for the viewers that don't know, she pretty much worked here. She worked so hard, like so hard. I know firsthand because I grew up seeing my mom not spending a lot of time at home, working morning shift, evening shift, you name it, afternoon shift. She barely even had time for us. But that's not to say she wasn't a good mom. She was a great mom. She done all of that so we can have our Nikes and we can go to school and not feel like we're less than the other kids. But eventually in 2019, well, 2017, she got diagnosed with cancer, and she was laying there with a lot of regrets. She was trying to do things back home so she can go and retire, but unfortunately that never really happened. And that's the sad part for me, when it comes to people moving to another land to form a better life for themselves and for their family. It's a very sad topic, but it happens a lot. And I feel like these are conversations that we need to be having because when people from where we're from, when they see we're doing well, they think it's all great, and they pretty much want to leave where they are to move where we are, but not knowing that once you leave where you actually grew up from, it can have a psychological effect on your mind as well. It's like the American dream, right? Like people keep chasing and chasing and chasing, but eventually they never reach that goal that they strive to reach.
It's definitely true that like a double-edged sword where you migrate to a developed country for like a better economic gain and for like you thinking about like your future kids, like better educations and everything. So you technically they sacrifice everything. They was in their 20 when they came over here. They sacrifice their youth, their time. They do everything to make ends meet. And all they want is just simple retirement. But a lot of them don't see that day.
Like, what is the solution here? Like, how can we advise the next generation of people back home, or not to like what can we do essentially to help solidify the problem? Because when you move into a foreign land, you're not only dealing with racism, you're dealing with starting over again. You have to work. Like if you was a doctor back home in Sierra Leone or in Vietnam, when you come to the UK, your qualification basically doesn't matter. You see a lot of these people working in care homes and demoralizing themselves. So, like, what advice do you think, or what conversations do you think we should be having to sort of like educate people that Europe or America is not all, it's not all gravy. Times are hard here as well, and you can make it anywhere, especially in the social media world.
So one of the conversation I think we should have with the people that like looking forward to move to a different country for economic benefit, I think it would be manage your expectation. Whatever money you make, you have to spend to maintain your basic like renting, like cost of living. A lot of people don't think about that. They think about the differences of exchange rate. Oh, there's a lot more you make in the UK per hours, but then you also need to spend a lot more to maintain the basic cost of living in the UK. Prepare yourself for the struggle because you come here, you are at disadvantage. Language barrier, education gap. Because a lot of this country, they don't recognize your education back home. So whatever you think you get back then, equivalent here, you might not get it. And all of that can have, like you said, psychological issue. You're thinking about like you only deserve a minimum pay or get a minimum pay job only.
I think expectation is the right word you use there. I think people need to manage their expectation. Yeah, it's great. You've been given a visa to come and work in the UK, but you need to remember you're not just going to come here and hit the ground running. Like I said, it's not the land of honey and cheese or wherever it is. Like, you still need to put in the work. And like, if you've been educated to a certain level back home, like we were saying, it's not relevant over here, right? People need to manage their expectations well, and understand that, hey, things are going to be tough, but eventually we're going to get there. Or just don't come here, right? Like, why does it need to be the UK? Why does it need to be America? Like, why can't it be in Sierra Leone? Why can't it be in Vietnam? Like, think about a business. You can pretty much make it anywhere. If you have the opportunity to obviously come over and, you have a job, you've gone through the right processes and stuff, and you've been invited to come and work here, you're a doctor or a caregiver or whatever it is, right? Then by all means, take your opportunity and chase your dreams and your career. So I'm not telling people that don't follow those dreams. Okay, what I'm saying is, we need to be thinking about there is opportunity everywhere.
So just another point I want to add to the conversation is before you thinking of coming to like any country, just do your research. Make sure like you lay out all your option, comparing it, your salary expectation, your cost of living, and obviously choose the best option for you.
Another thing I think that contributes so much to this issue is that when people go back home, they sell a lifestyle that isn't realistic. I think this is dangerous. This is very dangerous. I'm gonna give you a story, right? Actually, I'm not, because I feel like if I do, whoever it is I'm speaking about, they're gonna find out because they will be family members. But what I'm saying essentially is that people go back home and they act fake. They act like they're doing really well, where they're really struggling. They're really struggling here, but then they've saved up so much money to go home to stun and flaunt on people that don't have anything. I feel like people just need to be themselves. If you're going back home, just be yourself. If you're going on holiday, just enjoy your holiday and stop trying to flex on people, because that's wrong. Like, are you flexing on the less fortunate? That's wrong. What are some of the great memories that you had in Vietnam, and what do you miss?
The best memory I have in Vietnam is definitely the food and how convenient it is for me to find the food everywhere I go and every time I go. It doesn't matter what time you go out of the day, you can find food, you can find place to sit down, you can find like nice coffee shop anywhere you want to go. And meeting up with friends and family is a constant thing. You don't have it here. The distance is too far. The weather sometimes is not allowed it. and everyone is so busy here. But back home, I can go and see my friend every 2 days, every 3 days.
That's really interesting. Like I feel like the way people are raised back home and the way people are raised there is completely different. I feel like back home it takes a whole community to like raise a kid, whereas over here there is a massive individualism sense over here. Like everyone is for themselves. Do you know what I mean? It's more capitalist based. Like everyone's just busy working. No one's got time to look after anyone's kid unless they're getting paid for it. So what I miss the most is I'll say the food as well. You know, I love my cassava leaf. I miss how happy people are. I feel like when I go on holiday, you know, people are really friendly and welcoming. And like I was like that as well as a child. You know, when my cousins and stuff will come back home, like I was the happy kid. You know, I'm happy to see my family. And when I go home and I see like all the kids doing the same thing, like it brings me a lot of good memories. And I feel like people aren't as happy here in the UK, and understandably so. Like things ain't easy over here, which is why I feel like I can trade places with people from where I'm from, so they can actually experience my life for 24 hours and understand that yes, I do have privileges. I'll be honest, but it comes at a cost. I work so hard for it. When I was little, my grandma used to basically look after the whole family. Can you imagine? Like grown men and women. She used to look after everyone. And I've got a huge family, right? So I miss that. You know, like the head of the family. Like I miss that. And she was a woman, but she was the head of the family. Like, you know how crazy that is? Like she was like the mom, the dad, the everything. And that's not to say like there weren't any men in my family. There was great men. There is great men in my family. But she just had this boss status of looking after people. And guess what? She didn't even have a job. She had 7 kids and she educated them all. So she just sat there and just became the accountant. Everyone just pays her money and then she just distributes to the rest of the family. She was amazing, man. So yeah, I miss that. I miss that a lot. I don't know about you, but one of the things that I think is completely different to the way things are over here is how simple life is over in where we're from. Like the simplest thing can make people so happy. I don't know if it's the same in Vietnam, but like in Sierra Leone, like the most simple thing ever, like make people happy. Like, do you know what I mean? One thing I'd say is like when you wake up in the morning, yeah, kids have to say hello to the elders. Like it's a must. Like if you don't do it, it's seen as a disrespect. So you wake up in the morning, any elder, it doesn't need to be just your family member. It could be anyone, right? You're like, hello, hi, hello, like howdy buddy. Like everyone does that. And it's like those simple things. And I remember when I came to the UK, like a lot of my friends actually don't even know this. They probably thought I was like born in the UK. But when I first came to the UK, and I used to say hello to people on the bus. I used to say hello to people on the train. They used to look at me weirdly, like, and I was a kid, like they looked at me weird. Like me saying hello to someone on the train, like they just gave me the cold shoulder. And I used to, like it didn't take me long for me to understand, like, these lot are miserable. Like it did not take me long at all for me to realize that. So what was your experience like, or what are the simple things in Vietnam that you think don't exist over here?
The most simple things is literally just have the privilege of walking 5 minutes to my aunt and say hi. Because how I live in my hometown in Vietnam is we're surrounded by family member, cousin, auntie, uncle. So it's really close-knit community. And that's something I wouldn't have here.
Interesting. I mean, it's been a fantastic debate. I think it's been really great. And we're going to end it here because we don't want it to drag on for too long. Maybe we might do a part 2. Or maybe I might get someone in here that's from a different nationality, like whether that's Brits, or like anyone, right? Like I've got friends from all over the world, American, wherever, and they can maybe share what it's like moving to the UK or moving to other parts of the world, and what were their experiences like as well. I'm sure they're all pretty similar as well. So we're gonna end it here. Thanks for watching. It's been an interesting conversation, and thank you for coming over as well, Zoe. And yeah, stay blessed.